Hey, it's Arik from Firearms Nation, and today, Nation, we're getting back to Training Tech Thursday with a new product that's going to help you dry fire. Shiny. Yes, it's Training Tech Thursday, and once again, we're talking about dry fire because seriously, that is probably the best way that you are going to get better at shooting is by putting in the reps, by putting in the dry fire practice. You know, I was talking with somebody the other day, and we were talking about dry practice and shooting and the whole concept of getting better. People pick up an instrument, say a violin or a guitar, and they don't think miraculously they're going to get better. They know that they have to put in the practice over and over and over again in order to get better. Yet people will pick up a gun and magically think that tomorrow they're going to be that much better shooters. It doesn't happen that way. You need to have dry practice daily so that the feeling of having a gun in your hand is something that is familiar to you as opposed to unfamiliar. And you got this strange object in your hand and you don't know what to do, and it causes all this anxiety and judgment and expectations, and the next thing you know, you're missing your shots and you feel bad about it. But with this new product, the DryFireMag, you're gonna see if you shoot one of these, you definitely need one of these. What this is a trigger simulator, meaning I'll be able to get a trigger that becomes more alive as opposed to now. You see this? This is a dead trigger. It's not gonna move unless I cycle the gun, and now it's back into position. But that does me no good because I don't sit here and practice dry firing. No, I don't do that. And I don't do that in real life. I'm not going to do that here because that's not replicating anything that I ever do. All it is, you know, if I wanted to see that trigger pull, okay, yes, I just reset the trigger and I'm getting another good pull. Okay, good. But that's tedious. And like I said before, it's nothing that you've done before. So previously, if you go to this video, I think I'm pointing to the right place. I did a video last year where I showed that if you put the gun on a battery, you're gonna get a trigger that you can do this for. All right, if you can see it. So it's a trigger that moves. It doesn't really feel like the actual poundage on a Glock trigger, but because of that whole dead trigger thing, it's the best thing you got. Now, a lot of people say, oh, that's stupid, but guys, if you wanna shoot faster, you gotta develop this trigger finger. And the only way to do it is by doing reps. And if you're doing this, ain't gonna happen. So be that as it may, have internet feuds all you want. The bottom line is you need to put this gun on a battery in order to get that speed. Until, ta-da, now we've got this. So let's get a close-up look of what the DryFireMag actually is. So when we look at the DryFireMag, you can see that it's set up with this spring that also has a Allen adjustment. And what you do with the Allen screws, rather, is you can tighten or loosen the spring. And if you have a dog, I suggest you take the dog out because this sounds exactly the same as my clicker when I was training my dog. But regardless, you can adjust the tension on the spring to give you a more pounds of a trigger simulation or less pounds. But remember, we're dealing with a Glock here. Here we have my Glock 34, and I'm gonna take the DryFireMag. I'm gonna insert it. When you insert it, you insert it halfway. Now, I pull the gun out of battery, I insert the mag all the way, and then I send the slide forward. Now you're gonna have one big trigger pull, and then I'm gonna have a very good forceful reset. And now, if you look, I've got a trigger that works in a Glock. And this is amazing. This is something that we've been wanting for a long time. Remember, I spoke about it in the video that you can simulate having that with a piece of cardboard or something when you keep the gun on a battery, and that'll just give you a dry trigger. Well, this is something better. This will allow you to be able to have a trigger that somewhat works. It's not 100%, but it is a start. So now, when I want to practice, look at that. Ooh, a little bit of anticipation. I have this set pretty high up on the poundage. As I showed you before, you can take that Allen key that goes with it and you can lighten it up. I prefer to actually get like a bench press with my trigger finger and have a heavier pounds. So that way, when I go to a lighter trigger, I'll get that speed that I so desire, that everyone desires. Here's the thing, guys. Something like this, it looks like a regular magazine. It's got a spring and some other internal parts. It's a great design, and it is a wonderful alternative to putting the cardboard in. The cardboard costs you $0. It doesn't cost anything to do that. This, and I hope you're sitting down, this costs $99. And I'm sure some of you who are drinking coffee just spilled it. Yes, it's not a typo. I went to their website. This is $99. This I got as a gift from somebody. So I didn't suffer that pain. But $99, I really think that can be a negative emotion that someone's gonna feel when they go to practice this. Every time I stick this in, I'm gonna be thinking to myself, $99. So it's gonna be strictly up to you whether or not you've got that kind of money, how important it is to you. But I think if the guys who made this can listen to this, I think you're putting yourself in a price point that a lot of people aren't going to buy in. That's just my take, my personal opinion on it. Your mileage will vary. So there you have it, the DryFireMag. I think it's a good replacement for the cardboard that you normally put into the Glock slide in order to get it to have that trigger. And if you haven't come to my site, firearmsnation.com, go there right now where you can download your free ebook on the 5 steps that you could be doing today to develop a better training program. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 steps to a better firearms training program. And it's free. Firearmsnation.com. Go there and download. Join the nation.